in uniforms, a replica of the governor's office, and the actual chamber voted to secede from the Union in 1860. But amidst these reminders of the 19th century is a brittle relic of a more modern era.
The artifact is about 7 inches in diameter, about a half-inch thick. When you open it, it has a metal reel with the word flight written on it.
Are you kidding me, you stupid trike?
This delicate film offers a window into one of the most spectacular stunts in Mississippi history.
Go away, stupid trike.
Are of a feat that has actually revolutionized the aviation industry.
What high-flying exploit is depicted on this film?
Yes, I killed a truck.
Meridian, Mississippi, 1934. 30-year-old Al
Really?
and his 26-year-old brother Fred are living their dream, co-managing the town's municipal airport.
Al and Fred Key were local boys. They had a passion for aviation.
Licensed pilots themselves, they also earn money entertaining crowds as high-flying barnstormers. But the brothers' fortunes are about to change. The effects of the Great Depression have reached Meridian, and a small municipality finds
Meridian city leaders were looking for ways to cut costs.
They set their sights on what they determined to be a modern and frivolous venture.
The logical choice was this very new, very efficient airport.
Al and Fred Key are crushed.
For the airport to shut down, they would lose everything.
The brothers realize that to save the airfield, they must rally public support against its closure. So they devised a PR stunt around the thing they love best, flying.
They want to stay in the air longer than anybody else has ever stayed in the air.
To beat the existing record, the brothers must eat and sleep in the air for more than 23 days. They begin preparations by modifying a Curtiss Robin monoplane they christen Ole Miss. But their biggest concern is refueling midair. The plan is for a support plane to lower a fuel line to the brothers below, who will catch it and then carefully refill the Ole Miss. But this process is fraught with danger.
If any of the fuel touches any of the hot airplane parts, there's an explosion.
Then a colleague approaches the brothers with what he thinks is the perfect solution.
Their machinist friend fabricates a nozzle that, when dislodged from the gas tank, will automatically shut off.
Now the stage is set for the Key brothers' epic stunt. And on June 21st, 1934, in front of an excited crowd of 10,000, Al and Fred take to the sky. After just a few hours of circling overhead, they make their first refueling attempt.
The moment of truth. This is really gonna work. Fred grabs the hose. He puts it in.
The Keys hold their breath as the hose is removed, and as designed, the nozzle shuts off.
Everything goes off without a hitch.
The relieved brothers settle into a routine, circling above Meridian. But then, on day 5, disaster strikes.
Fred's doing his repairs, and then notices a spark.
The brothers discover they've been given the wrong octane rating, and the engine is overheating. They're forced to land the plane far short of the record.
They were devastated. They could not believe that they had finally gotten to this point, only for it to just come crumbling down.
But the determined brothers aren't ready to give up yet. So, in June of 1935, with little fanfare, they take to the skies again.
They were determined that nothing was going to stop them.
For 3 grueling weeks,
Yeah.
they circle above Meridian, reigniting public fascination with their quest.
Here?
Suddenly, the brothers encounter an entirely new crisis.
Al happened to have an abscess too while he was in the air.
The pain becomes unbearable, and it is clear that Al needs medical attention. But before beginning the descent, Al wonders if there's a way to treat himself.
They radioed down, and a local dentist was able to coach him. they sent the supply bucket up. They were able to put in a syringe, and it had medication in it, and he was able to lance the two stem cells in flight.
Al manages to carry on, and the brothers inch closer to their goal. And on June 27th, they make history.
And 3:13 in the afternoon, they break the record of 23 days in the air.
Footage of the stunt, now in canisters at the Old Capitol Museum, is seen in newsreels around the world. To further solidify their record, the brothers stay aloft for another 4 days and finally land on July 1st.
The Key brothers were in the air for over 27 days. That's the equivalent of flying twice around the world.
Thanks to the international publicity, officials decide to keep the airport open and rename it Key Field. And the legacy of the flight lives on. The refueling nozzle first used by the Key brothers becomes the industry standard for the entire U.S. military. And today, at the Old Capitol Museum, this canister of film is a testament to a record-breaking flight that changed the face of aviation. Chicago, Illinois. Between 1830 and 1930, this city's population grew from 200 to over 3 million. And it was during this era that one of Chicago's great cultural institutions began to flourish.
She's a cat.
The Museum of Natural History. Its collection
I still wear those,
of
so it's comfortable.
dinosaur exhibits, nearly 500,000 bird specimens, and dozens of lifelike animal dioramas. But one exhibit features what was once a mysterious beast.
You got the fun's coat? Okay.
In sitting posture, about 2.5 feet high.
Shut up.
Is absolutely distinct. According to curator
Bad
Dr.
puppy.
Lawrence Heaney, this is no ordinary panda.
This
1 minute.
is the result of one woman and a tragedy that started her off on the greatest adventure of her life.
Who brought this panda to America? And how did its discovery transform the understanding of the entire species? 1934.
Okay.
New York. Chain-smoking designer and socialite in the city's party scene.
Ruth was not one to have an ordinary life. She was interested in new adventures.
She's found the perfect match in her husband Bill, an intrepid explorer who is looking for his next expedition. That summer, a newspaper article catches his eye. It describes a rare and elusive creature, China's giant panda.
Pandas in particular at that time were extremely poorly known.
The article speculates about the animal's diet, habitat, and even its genetic family. All mysteries of biology of the day.
There was one school of thought that they were essentially gigantic members of the raccoon family.
And the article states that zoos might pay handsomely for the first panda brought to America.
The first person who brought a live panda would potentially be able to sell it for $20,000 to $30,000.
Determined to capture the creature, Bill sets out for China, while Ruth stays behind in New York. But 13 months into the journey, Ruth receives some horrible news. Her husband has suddenly died from a fast-moving cancer.
She had absolutely no clue that he was in such poor health.
But then Ruth is dealt another blow. Bill's family has cut her out of the will. It seems that her days in New York's high society are over. But then she's struck by a notion.
Nowadays,
The cash reward from her husband's unfinished quest can still be obtained.
She decided, I'm going to go find a giant panda, bring it back, I will get the money, and I'm going to do this.
To the utter astonishment of the New York elite, Ruth heads off to Shanghai,
She'd never done anything like this before.
using the last of her savings to secure a guide. She sets off up the Yangtze River towards Chengdu, where they will embark on the mountains.
It's really rugged. And for a New York socialite, it's astounding that she was able to do it at all.
But weeks into the trip, Ruth has yet to see even the slightest sign of a panda. So will this New York socialite successfully capture the elusive creature?
Yes.